Today, we're going to decode that secret language of the human heart. You know, all those little nonverbal cues people send out when their words aren't telling the whole story. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's that little knot in your stomach when you're with a friend or your partner or even a coworker, and you just know something else is going on under the surface. Well, let me tell you, you are not imagining things. And see, this is the key. Research in psychology shows us that emotions, they always find a way out. They might not use the front door, with words, but they leak out in these tiny, predictable clues. And our job today, it's to learn how to spot them. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. A lot of these clues are like a two-sided coin. The exact same type of behavior can point to completely opposite feelings. We're talking deep attraction on one side and simmering resentment on the other. Let's dive into how that actually works. First up, you've got to pay attention to their humor and how they praise you. Is every other comment a sarcastic jab? Like a joke that kind of stings? That's often just hostility wearing a just kidding mask. It's a way to vent without a big confrontation. But on the flip side, what if someone is just showering you with compliments, almost too many? That's often a huge sign of a hidden crush. They're trying to build you up to build a connection.
All right, next, think about how they deal with information. If you're in a disagreement and they just shut down, go completely silent, that's called stonewalling, and it's a super passive-aggressive way to let that irritation just fester. But if they're the opposite, if they're intensely curious, asking you all these deep questions about what you love, what makes you tick, that's because they're trying to speak your language and forge a real bond. In this whole duality thing, it totally shows up in their actions too. Have you ever dealt with someone who forgets to do something they promised? Yeah, that's not always an accident. Sometimes it's what we call strategic inaction, or really subtle power play. But someone with a crush, they do the total opposite. They're doing you favors you didn't even ask for, just to show you they're reliable and that they really truly care. And finally, for this section, let's talk about time. Someone hiding some resentment will suddenly become so busy for any one-on-one hangs. They'll always suggest group settings because it feels safer. But someone who's into you, they become an expert at inventing excuses to get you alone. Suddenly, a boring errand becomes this little adventure for just the two of you. Okay, so that was all about the conscious stuff, the choices people make. But now we get to the really juicy part, the subconscious tells, the involuntary reactions that people can't fake. This is where the body starts telling the truth, even if the mouth is trying to lie. So think about it. We're all pretty good at controlling our facial expressions, right? But most of us totally forget about our feet. And that brings us to the feet don't lie rule. If you're talking to someone and their feet are pointed away from you, towards the door, even if their torso is turned to you, their body is screaming, "I want out of here." But if you see their feet kind of bouncing or wiggling, we call those happy feet, and they're a dead giveaway for positive excitement. So what in the world does this number, 75%, have to do with hidden feelings? Well, it has everything to do with our eyes. A Harvard psychologist, Zick Rubin, found something amazing. In a normal, everyday conversation, most of us make eye contact maybe 30 to 60% of the time. But couples who are deeply in love, they hold each other's gaze a whopping 75% of the time. That massive jump is one of the most reliable signs of a powerful romantic connection. And hey, while you're looking at their eyes, check out their pupils. When our pupils get bigger, when they dilate, it's a totally involuntary response to being emotionally aroused. It happens when we're excited or interested or even scared. It is a tell they literally cannot control. You ever heard of the chameleon effect? It's this wild subconscious thing we all do. When we feel a connection with someone, we start to mirror them. Their posture, their gestures, even how fast they talk. We do it to build rapport, to send a signal that says, "Hey, I get you. We're on the same wavelength." So if you're talking to someone and you lean forward, and then you notice they lean forward too, or you smile and they smile right back in the same way, that's the chameleon effect in action. And it's a super powerful, unspoken sign that they feel a deep, empathetic connection with you. Okay, this one is one of my absolute favorites. A microexpression. It's this tiny, lightning-fast flash of pure, unfiltered emotion. We're talking it lasts for just 1/25th of a second before the conscious brain can slap a more appropriate expression over it. That split-second sneer of contempt or that flash of genuine joy, it is a direct window into their soul.
All right, next, you want to look for something called preening. This is when someone starts subconsciously tidying themselves up when you're around. They'll straighten their ties, smooth down their hair, brush some imaginary lint off their jacket. It's not just a nervous habit, it's their brain's way of saying, I want to look my best for this person.
And hey, don't forget the lips. They are so expressive. Slightly parted lips, that's often a really strong signal of attraction, of openness. But if you see someone squeezing their lips together so they're all thin and flat, that is pure tension. It can mean frustration or that they are literally biting back the words they wish they could say to you.
Okay, so we've just given you this entire toolkit for observing people. But what are you supposed to do with all this? The point here is not to become some kind of lie detector in your own relationships. And honestly, this right here is the most important thing to remember. These signs are clues. They are not conclusions. They're not proof of anything. Just think of them as invitations. Invitations to pay a little closer attention, maybe ask a gentle question, and hopefully open the door to a much more honest and real conversation.
So the real question to leave you with isn't just about what other people might be hiding. It's what is the emotional subtext in your life trying to tell you?